Welcome back, folks, to Streamcatchers episode 4. I am AB.
I could do this all day. What's
Woo!
up, everybody? I'm Jack.
All right, all right. I'm excited right now.
I'm so pumped.
This was episode 4. Again, people, spoilers ahead of time. If you haven't seen the episode yet, come back and after you've had a chance to watch it and listen in. Episode 4, the whole world is watching. What an episode.
Yes. I thought, okay, so when I read the episode title, I thought for sure they were going to be talking about the whole world watching Bucky messing stuff up in Madripoor.
Same. I thought for sure they were going to explore that a bit. And of course, they always can come back to it. But
yeah,
John Walker, my, oh my.
Yeah, it's tempting to dive right into that final scene, man. It's I after I finished the episode, I turned over to Kimmy and I was like, I wish I was recording the episode right now. I want to talk to AB about this so bad right now.
For sure it was the best episode so far. Strongest from start to finish, I thought. We get so in contrast, episode 3, there was almost no John Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course,
it was all about Zemo.
It was all about Zemo. And, of course, now we get so much more of John Walker, and we see so many little things happen throughout the episode that gets us to the end. Oh, man, yeah. I think, again, yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to jump right into that last scene. But I do think we should at least address the serum.
Let's do it.
Let's just hop right into that, I suppose. So John Walker's a super soldier now, and I don't want to say I called it, but
yeah, well, we knew we kind of knew somebody was going to become a super soldier.
Yeah.
And he seems the obvious choice in a good way, because we want him to be a villain, and now he is absolutely a villain.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah. I think what I really like about it, especially after having the benefit of watching it twice, like I said, they laid out so many things throughout the show where first you see Carly Morgenthau with the extra vials, and see immediately you're thinking, okay, somebody's taking that. Like that's happening this episode. And then of course they get to the point where John Walker is having that little face off with Bucky while Sam's talking to Carly, where he says, "You think you're so tough," or whatever it was. You've got that serum running through your blood, so you feel like he's a little bit jealous the fact that he doesn't have that. And then of course he gets his ass kicked by the Dura Milaje, and he's like, "They didn't have the serum." And then of course you see him. You see the vials fly out all over the place. Zemo's destroying them, and there's one left over, and he pockets it, and you're like, oh. When I saw that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like that's a very not Captain America thing to do, John.
And that's kind of the thing that I love so much about it is you feel the weight of the shield and the Captain America mantle really weighing on him. He really wants to live up to that. And the biggest difference is obviously he has been seeking out the shield and the serum, whereas Steve didn't seek out the serum. The serum sought him out. And so it's you're just seeing this kind of unhinged guy, and they even mention it in the episode. Bucky's like, "There's something wrong with this guy," and it's just unfolded exponentially. And we have, I think, villain B of the show.
Would you call him villain B?
Villain B. I guess like if there's 1A, 1B, he's 1B.
You're still thinking the power broker? Yeah. Simply for the fact that we don't know who he is yet. He's faceless, and that kind of alludes to that type of mystery kind of alludes to him being the big bad of the season.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? I'm interested to hear what you think.
Okay, so John Walker picks up that vial of serum, has a look on his face. You know that there's flaws in his character. Okay, cut to the scene where he's talking about. Let's see. Yeah, when he said, he gets his ass kicked by the Wakandans, and they're not even super soldiers, and that pisses him off. That cuts him deep. And so when he gets that super soldier serum, he knows as soon as he picks it up that he's going to do it. He's going to take it.
Oh, yeah.
I think, in my opinion. But he's still a little conflicted about it, because he talks to Battlestar about it. Hey, if we had it, would you take it? And he's like, oh, of course, yeah, I would. It amplifies, everything about you. So if you're a good person, it makes, Steve Rogers was a great person, super soldier, better person. Carly Morgenthau, not a little shady. She gets the super soldier serum. She's kind of a bad guy now. So, Battlestar says, oh, you're this great guy. It would make you, everything that you want to be, basically talks him into it without even really knowing it.
Right.
Wow. And I'm wondering, because we don't really know when he took it. Do we? I mean, that's kind of like, I know we know when the audience finds out, but right. I wonder if it's later that day, or if it was even before he talked to Battlestar about it.
Well, how much time went by between the final sort of face-off and him picking up I mean, was that the same day, or a 12-hour period, or?
I don't know. It was either same day or the next day.
Something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they're in Latvia. They're in Latvia. So when Carly calls Sam's sister, it's night in Louisiana, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it might be same day. I wasn't really following it super closely for a timeline, but yeah, it might be same day.
Because I feel like he picks up the vial. Everyone kind of recognizes we just got waxed. And then he has that conversation with Battlestar at the cafe or whatever. And then, of course, they run into them again at whatever point. So, I mean, it might have been 6 to 12 hours between picking up the vial, and then you see him break the bar, and Sam's like, what the hell did you do?
He kicks that dude down the stairs.
Man, I think that's when we sort of were, because that was before he bends the bar. When he kicks the guy down the stairs, you're like, oh, this dude took the thing. He's about it right now.
Even before that, when he was just stepping through the hallways and he was listening, do you think he was using like his heightened senses to listen? Is that what you? I caught that on my second watch.
Right, because it kind of floats by you on that first watch, because they already had established earlier in the show that he has 20/20 vision and peak speed and peak strength and all these things. So you're kind of like, well, it makes sense that he's also a really good listener for some reason. But yeah, I want to rewind to that scene where he's talking to Battlestar. I think that's such an important scene. Because I agree with you. I think that the second he picks up that vial, he's like, oh yeah, I'm taking this thing. And it's similar to anybody that really wants to do anything. They know they want to do it. They just want that quick affirmation, the validation that they're making the right choice. So going to his closest associate, his best friend, and hearing him say, oh yeah, I'd take it. Of course, that was all he needed to hear. But I think that even if Battlestar would have been hesitant, I think he still would have. I think so too. I think he was way too tempted not to, especially after getting his ass kicked by, people who were not super soldiers. I think that really got to him. I agree too. I think that was his first humbling experience.
He didn't even get a hit in. Like he didn't do anything. He got pinned to the table and couldn't do anything.
And that's the first time we've really seen him lose outside of when he got beat by super soldiers earlier in the show, a couple episodes
But even that wasn't that bad. Like they're super soldiers, and B, I mean, he got in a few hits. He survived. He saved Battlestar from falling off he did his job,
Right. That to me is a far more understanding loss than you just got beat up by these spear holding warriors that don't have any serum or anything. So that was the biggest character development for him, I thought.
Yeah, he had no respect for them even before they fought. he said, what did he say? Something like, okay, let's put the pointy sticks down. Like, really? We're going to go there?
Because we as viewers, we know the Durham Logic. We know how hard they are. And I just love it when they pop in there, and Sam and Bucky and even Zemo, they're just like standing in the background like, go ahead, guys. Like, you got it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? This is almost enjoyable for us.
Yeah, and I just my favorite part of the whole thing I thought was Bucky. You're looking real strong, John.
You're doing great. Attaboy. And Zemo doesn't even put down his drink.
He's just like, I'm chilling right now.
Wow, this is a show, you know?
Yeah, that was such a fun scene, I thought, just because I felt like we knew that the Wakandans were going to come back at some point, but I wasn't expecting it there. And I really thought we were going to see Sam and John throw hands, and we were going to see them.
I did too. Yeah, we got interrupted.
I was here for it, and then of course the spear comes in, and oh man, it was a fun scene though.
Yeah, he even John says, "Hey, you want me to put the shield down, make it an equal footing?" Like, and then he did it. Like, oh, they're gonna fight right now, and then that spear comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah, so fun scene, and just again getting to see more of the Wakandans, I thought was a real treat. I mean, the show kicks off with AO talking to Bucky, and I did want to talk a little bit about that scene too.
Yeah, it was a really cool opening. Nice surprise visit to Wakanda 6 years ago.
Yeah, and I think we kind of talked about it. We just never got to see Bucky sort of get healed in any way.
Right.
And it's not like they gave us any scientific things. It was just she's reciting the words, and he realizes that it doesn't affect him anymore, and you see the just pure relief and joy.
Well, yeah. Sebastian Stan really got to flex his acting muscles in that scene. He looked really good, having that catharsis of being free, from the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and I thought that was so well done. And I don't know how do you know if there's a significance in those words?
I don't know. I would guess no, but I'm not sure.
So random. I mean, there's like
and specific like numbers. There's like a couple few numbers in it. Yeah,
it's like what? Who? What? How did you come up with these words? Like, avocado. Is avocado work? Yeah. You've already said a number. Just say 17. It's fine. But we got 9 coming up in a few words. I don't know.
I don't know. I've thought about that as well. I don't think so. I would guess no, but it's worth a Google.
Probably. Yeah, I do think that's just something that they just threw together. But I would like to hope that there is. But fun scene, and I thought that we're getting little by little. They haven't forgotten about Bucky. There's just a scene or two here and there over the last 4 episodes that keep on reminding you, hey, he's still dealing with stuff, and they're still trying to address that somehow, I think. And
they're doing a really good job of giving us, these breadcrumbs about his past that really, give us some insight into his character and why he is the way that he is. And I think that this opening scene in Wakanda, even though, there are very few lines, it's a very short scene. So much happens, I don't know, it feels bigger than it was, I guess.
Yeah, well, and it also reinforces the ties that he had to the Wakandans. Because then when you fast forward back to that scene where they're fighting John Walker and Battlestar, and AO's like, oh, you're going to fight me now. Okay, I'm going to take your arm then. It's like, which was like
a fight that he doesn't want to be in too.
Exactly, which I think was part of him sort of standing back initially. And of course, Sam's like, no, we got to help. They are going to kill them. Like you saw the one about to stab Battlestar. If Sam hadn't jumped in, probably would have. So there's just like that little bit of Bucky really appreciates them and considers them friends. But of course, the morality behind him is like, oh, I can't let them kill these guys. So I thought that was really well done. I hope we see more Wakandans throughout the rest of the show. I hope.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would definitely be here for that.
Yeah, because that scene, Zemo gets away.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the last we're going to see a Zemo in this show. So if there's going to be more Zemo, there's got to be more Wakandans, right? They're not going to stop.
Right. I think, I don't know. Like, do you have any sort of thing? Do you think what do you think we see with Zemo next?
I haven't really given it a whole lot of thought. What's Zemo's next motivation? In his mind, he's destroyed all of the super soldier serum. I guess he would definitely want to see the super soldiers that exist now dead.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he's going to make that happen.
Right.
I don't know what his next move is going to be.
it's definitely, I don't think we've seen the last of him wanting to tangle with Carly.
Right.
There's that line we talked about last week where he says, "I for one can't wait to see Carly Morgenthau." We saw him try to shoot her and kill her straight up. Of course, that didn't work, but I do think that we see him attempt to exact his revenge, or I don't know if it's revenge, but
maybe he'll find an ally in the power broker, because the power broker is out for blood with Carly as well.
that's a good. I could see that happening. Actually, that's a good, because I think they still mention power broker one more time.
Oh yeah.
If you better give us these vials back, or else, essentially.
Yeah. So while we're talking about the power broker, I wanted to revisit what we talked about last episode with the idea that Sharon Carter might be the power broker. I think that was a cool idea that we floated around, but I still don't think that's going to be the case. I would be willing to bet that she is or was in allegiance with the power broker at one point. For the simple fact that she said, what was her line? I wrote it down here somewhere. Oh, the power broker went apeshit. That slips out of her mouth. And how would she know that?
Right.
Unless Madripoor was already seeing the fallout of that, which we kind of get a glimpse of Madripoor, but I don't think that we've seen the fallout yet.
She basically just said that he's mad about Nagel and that Madripoor is about to get nasty.
Right.
Which makes me believe that we haven't seen the last of Madripoor in this show, potentially.
I hope not. I love that place.
That's a really cool spot, yeah, and I'm sure that they'll explore it more in the future, as we talk about Wolverine ties. So whenever they do get to introduce him, we'll see that at some point. But I agree. Her being the power broker, that's a bit of a stretch. That would be quite a shock.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's association there. And we know that she has been tied to the criminal activity in Madripoor. It would only make sense that she has at least had interactions with the power broker, and like you said, either is or was associated with him. Because they and this could be them throwing us off, but they do keep saying he, him. They're very clear that it's male. So they it's not like movies and shows haven't done that where they throw you off. Dark Knight Rises did that. The child of Ra's al Ghul. We thought it was Bane, and it turned out to be whoever, Talia. But I could still see the fact that she's tied to him in some way.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's definitely going to be a tie there.
Yeah. So
I don't know if I'm wondering if she worked with or for him in the past.
I would hazard a guess more for.
Yeah, I would say just because of his he's so big.
He's so big, the power, the influence. I can see, she was on the run. She had no resources. I could see that she needed some money, maybe found a quick, easy gig working for the power broker and did some work for him on some level, right? Because she's wealthy and
I bet you're right on the money with that.
Yeah. So I think if there's a twist, that's the twist that we're going to get, that she has worked with the power broker.
Yeah. So, Zemo slips away. I forgot. How did he slip away? I'm trying to think. He busted out of his. Oh, he just while they were all fighting, he just slipped into a different room, right?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was the bathroom, and there was like a drain grate in the floor.
Yeah, that's right.
Pulls that out, and so I will be really interested to see how that progresses. Because are Sam and Bucky going to try to find him? To rejoin him, or are they like crap? Now this guy's on the loose.
I don't know, because that is going to be their responsibility, right? Because they broke him out ultimately. Well, not Sam so much, but he's going to feel just as responsible as Bucky.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and the reason they broke him out was to get to Carly, and now they are
kind of done that.
Yeah, they got there, right? And they've hinted a bit at an allegiance of some kind between them and Carly and the Flag Smashers. So do they need him to get to her when they kind of have her contact now?
Yeah, I don't think they need Zemo anymore. I think that Sam got through to Carly enough for him to be on, her radar. She calls that second meeting. she threatens Sam's sister and nephews and everything for that second meeting, and then she says, join me or get out of my way, essentially. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I don't think they need Zemo for anything else.
No. And I'm really starting to lean towards a team up between Carly and Falcon and the Winter Soldier against John Walker. And I would assume is some ties to the Power Broker.
Probably.
Because like you said, there was a little bit of an understanding in a way between Sam and Carly. He was really getting through to her, and of course John was the one that broke that up, and
he really screwed that up, didn't he?
Yeah, and then she also mentioned a few scenes later that she wants to kill Captain America. So I mean, she definitely doesn't like John Walker, and was really made it a point to verify that Sam was not at all aligned with him.
Right.
So I also think with John Walker, the whole thing was he seems like a good guy, but there's something off about him. Whereas with Carly, she seems like a villain, but you can see the good. And so the parallels, by the time this episode ends, I feel like we get a clear view with John Walker is actually an unhinged person. And Carly is someone that just got a little in over her head, right? Because she sees that final sequence and she looks legitimately scared. And it's almost like a, what have I done? Sort of thing. Almost remorse. I don't know if you got
that. Well, yeah, I mean, she probably feels somewhat responsible because she kicked Battlestar into that pillar and accidentally killed him. I mean, and that's what really, really set John off.
Yes.
For the public execution that was the final scene. What a bloodbath that would have been. Which just, I mean, I'm almost speechless about that scene. It was so crazy to watch. Like every single camera angle was just like, no, don't do it. And then he just like slams over and over. It's like, I was watching it with Kimmy on my first watch, and both of us thought, is he going to take his head off in front of all these people in public?
There's that last shot where he's got it over his head, and you see like an upshot of him like this, and you're like, he's going to pull back. He's going to realize what he's doing, and he's going to just put the shield down. And maybe because we've seen it where I think it was Steve, where he takes the shield and he jams it into Stark, but he stops the arc reactor.
Yeah.
And he doesn't actually kill Stark. Whereas I thought that maybe he would do something where he hit the ground just to scare the guy. And then no, he straight up murders him.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And that's interesting you say that, because when I watched that shot that you're talking about where he has the shield over his head, I disagree. I felt that he was going to kill him the entire time. Yeah. I saw the red in his, that he was seeing, with his dead friend.
Yeah. And I think that's another reason why that scene with Battlestar where they're in the cafes is so important. Because it's another confirmation of just how close they are. That's his closest confidant, seemingly a brother type figure in his life.
Well, it almost feels like that those two are really the only ones that knew what went down in Afghanistan that awarded him those three. What were they? Are they
3 medals of honor?
Medals of honor. I was about to call them Purple Hearts.
Mention that too, because that first episode that we get exploration of John Walker, they talk about how he's this decorated veteran.
And he clearly doesn't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
Which is kind of normal of soldiers.
Which I didn't pick up on, right? Because, it's like that seems like a thing, people don't like to talk about stuff like that. And then you get to the scene where it's like, okay, there's a little bit more to this. Yeah. What did he do? And so now you're thinking, oh man, what happened in Afghanistan?
And even while they're talking about it one-on-one, they know exactly what happened, and it feels like they don't even want to talk about it with each other.
Exactly. So yeah, that I feel like that 2 or 3 minute scene was probably the most important scene in the entire episode.
It was huge. It was huge for sure.
So, but yeah, you mentioned it. Battlestar, I'm sad about this, is dead.
Me too, dude.
I was really starting to like him, especially in this episode. Seemed like more of the voice of reason. Knew how to get to John, who is seemingly unhinged, and now that's gone. And I don't know. I didn't really think there was much remorse on John's face after he realized what he just threw the shield back in his arm, and
it's almost like Battlestar was like his last tie to, being a good guy.
Yeah. And now that's gone, and we're seeing this guy that's not only now he has taken the serum, and he is straight up unhinged. He is this guy that I don't know. I don't know what I think that there's going to be a point where he is the final sort of boss in that last episode.
I'm wondering if he's going to be let back in with the military, if they're gonna spin that so that he's still no, he's good, he's Captain America, all that. I don't know what's gonna happen next. Is he gonna be on his own? Is he gonna be on the run? Like I'm dying to know what happens next. I can't wait for next week.
That's a good point, because not to get too, I guess, political or anything, but we see our government doing questionable things and sending raids out to other countries, but
sure,
as we're trying to protect everybody. And I could, this Flag Smash group is known as a terrorist sort of organization, so I could easily see the military say, well, he was just protecting everybody that was there. There's the super soldier on the loose.
And if that is the case, that's going to fuel Carly's fire even more.
Right. And I do think that we're going to see more of Bucky and Sam lean towards, we might have to team up with this group here, because this John Walker,
with terrorists.
And I'm starting to think the GRC is a little bit more, not evil, but just not exactly what they seem to be.
Well, sure. They had that scene where they, Sam's talking to that teacher, and they needed help, they needed resources, they needed teachers, and the GRC, oh yeah, sure, they're coming. And 6 months go by, there's nothing. I mean, that's, I'm sure there's a lot of red tape, but I mean, these people are desperate. They're refugees. I mean, they say they're not refugees, but I mean, that's
what they are.
What else are they?
And we've had, like you said, the breadcrumbs every little bit here and there, where it's, I'm starting to think maybe the GRC, but there's got to be something to that. I don't know if that's just lazy writing, or if they're going to come down and say, we just had to do something to make everyone think we're doing something, but we're really not interested in helping these people out. More fueling what Carly was talking about.
They were sitting on all that vaccine, from what was that, last week? They were sitting on all that vaccine that Carly stole and then torched that building. Yeah,
so you're almost starting to really sympathize with Carly and the Flag Smashers and their methods, and you're like, well, I definitely wouldn't recommend blowing up buildings and murdering people, but I get why you're mad.
yeah, which is Sam's stance exactly.
Yeah, and that was, I think, another important scene. Just those two having a chance to talk. And I think I made the connection last week where I felt like Carly was more Ghost from Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Thanos, I guess. Obviously, you're going a bit higher up there in the hierarchy as villains go, but he legit, Madman versus someone that feels displaced, feels wronged, and wants to fight back.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I think I mentioned it a bit ago, where you had these two characters, Walker and Carly. One seemed good, had bad tendencies. One seemed bad, has good tendencies. Where we're seeing a flipping almost of who's good and who's bad.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned pro wrestling baby face and heel turn.
That reference is completely lost on me.
The good guy goes bad, the bad guy goes good.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're really going to turn on, with Carly and really get to like her just in time to see John Walker pull the trigger and finally kill her.
Ooh, you think he kills her? Okay.
I mean, he's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him.
You know what? Now, I guess it really hadn't dawned on me, but that was his whole thing. That's why he killed the guy. He was trying to find her. and he showed no hesitation in killing the dude. And that dude didn't even kill Lamar. So maybe
he just wanted revenge. Yeah, he just wanted to feel good. He, you know, she took one of his. He takes one of hers. That's how he saw it in that moment.
Yeah, well, I think he still wants to take her.
Yeah, I think so too.
That I maybe we could watch for that in episode 5. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get that John Walker Power Broker alliance. All those forces against Carly.
I'm wondering if the Power Broker is connected to the GRC.
Ooh, that would be spicy. That would be spicy. That's not totally out there. Also,
right?
Yeah, that's not too far fetched.
We don't know anything really about the Power Broker other than he has power, and
he's watching.
He's watching. He's with the world apparently. He's watching.
Yeah,
I could see it, and you know, obviously Walker is tied to the GRC, so maybe that's how that alliance forms.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we still have a mystery on our hands with Carly. How did she get the super soldier serum in the first place?
I thought that they had stolen them from Dr. Nagel.
I mean, but how
give them to them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the way that the Power Broker contacts Carly personally, you think that I think at least that they know each other personally.
I also have that impression, just because, yeah, the way she sort of talks about him, you do get the vibe that she knows something about him, or has had maybe similar to our theory about Sharon, how once worked for him or came across him some way. We don't know that for sure. That's a theory, but I don't think that's very far-fetched to think.
My spidey senses are telling me that we're going to get a flashback scene with the Power Broker when he finally does have a face, and it will be either with Carly or with Sharon. I can't decide which.
Your Peter Tingle?
My Peter Tingle, yeah, it's going crazy.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this Power Broker reveal, I suppose. I'm thinking it's going to happen next episode. I think that's going to be our cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like a spoiler or anything, but I don't know if he's not the creator of the show. He's tied to the show. Some guy mentioned that episode 5 is supposed to be a pretty emotional episode, and that there's also a major character reveal from somebody from the comics that we know of, and a major actor is playing them.
Really?
That's really all I know, and I don't want to know anything else until.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
But that's something to watch for. It's not like they said it's not somebody like Thor or Captain America, somebody like that level, somebody a bit more grounded, but someone that people are fans of from the comics.
Yeah, well, I know that a lot of people are wanting to see old man Steve Rogers get involved, and I don't think that it's going to happen, but I would be definitely here for it.
Yeah, I don't think it's him. I think it's supposed to be somebody that they have not been introduced yet. This will be.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
I'm with you too. I think a quick shot of old man Steve with Bucky and Sam. I almost think it's necessary and needed. I mean, my hopes aren't up that it's going to happen, but it would be a really sweet little notch in the belt.
So we've only got one more episode that will have a cliffhanger, right? Because it's 6 episodes. This was 4, so 5 will have a cliffhanger, and then 6 will be the end of the show. Mm-hmm. If you had to guess the cliffhanger for 5, what do you think it would be?
It's got to be something with the Power Broker.
I think we're going to see the Power Broker's face. I think that's going to be the cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. We're gonna finally get a face to the name, and it's going to be a cool reveal.
I agree. I think we're going to get that. My ambitious my fantasy quarterbacking would be it's something to do where John Walker goes to the Power Broker and it's like, I need your help, or something like that. And that's sort of sets us up for the last episode where he will finally take on Bucky and Sam. Or maybe it's him killing Charlie.
What if the Power Broker's a mutant? How cool would that be? Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're
Oh,
hoping and
play with
dreaming
me,
now.
man. That would be just a
I know. It really would be.
Oh man, yeah. I don't even like it. Just for fun, what mutant would?
Yeah. I'd love to see Magneto.
If they were gonna do him, they would have done WandaVision.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. I don't know though, because like I mean, the MCU is doing a lot different. Do you think Magneto will still be like Wanda and Pietro's dad?
Yeah, I do.
You do really?
Yeah, well, because I think in the comics, um, they ended up getting adopted by people by the Maximoff.
Oh,
His
okay.
name's Eric Lensher, right? Like, he's not a Maximoff. So I think that it's like later revealed that he. But I think they also retcon that at some point that he's not at all their father.
Oh, really?
I think so. I don't remember
I'm
exactly.
not as connected with the overarching plots of the Marvel comics.
I think that was something I read after during WandaVision. I just kind of wanted to get that going, and then it's been so long now I forgot the exact
Okay.
way it's worded or whatever. But I think that's exactly what it was.
Okay. So who would you guess then if it's going to be a mutant?
If
If we're going to speculate.
the power broke, so it would have to be like somebody evil, right?
Right.
Man, it'd be really fun if it was Mr. Sinister. Although I don't think he's a mutant,
Ooh.
or is he just?
I don't know.
I think he's a
Is he a
mutant.
mutant?
He's a mutant, yeah.
I don't know.
That
That'd
would
be cool.
that seems like a very ambitious thing, though.
I know the internet's been talking a lot about Mephisto.
He was supposed to. Everyone thought he was going to pop up in WandaVision and be
Hmm.
tied to Agatha Harkness. That was sort of the theory for weeks. That everyone saw Agatha coming, right? But they thought that the main villain was going to be Mephisto.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that didn't happen. Maybe Mephisto pops up in Doctor Strange, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see. I think if they were going to do Mephisto, they would probably have done that in WandaVision.
I also know that the internet's been blowing up about Kang the Conqueror being kind of the next big bad of the MCU.
He's for sure already casted for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Okay.
He's going to be
Okay, cool.
And
Do you know much about Kang?
I know he's the Time Lord. I think we
Okay.
talked about this a few weeks ago. If you go back to Ant-Man and the Wasp, and when
With that city.
that city, yeah, in the quantum realm, people are speculating that that's his city because he has what's it called? I'm not even trying to speculate. He has some city that is in the quantum realm that is chromanium or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's speculation that that's his city.
Yeah.
But there was I know we're really getting off the wagon here.
That's all right. That's what we're here for, man.
There's a really fun, ambitious theory that I saw that I don't even want to mention because I don't want to sound like I'm taking credit for it. I can't remember who it was. So shout out to that person, whoever came up with this theory. He thinks when you go back and you watch Endgame, and Thanos pops in, boom, blows up the compound, and everyone's sort of coming to, and Tony picks up Steve, and Steve's like, "What happened?" And Tony goes, "Well, you mess with time, and time tends to mess back. You'll see." And just kind of the way he says it is like he knows something.
Yeah.
And so the theory is that in the time between them realizing that's dead and snapping the gauntlet and bringing everyone back, there's like, they don't really specify how much time took place between that.
Mm-hmm.
And so because when you see them sort of mourning Black Widow dying, they're all in some clothes, and then they come back and they're all in their uniforms. So the theory is there was enough time in between those two events where Tony went back in time or forward in time or something and saw what happens and saw Kang and what he did and like taking revenge on the Avengers for messing up time.
Interesting theory.
It's very ambitious and it's very like it's a stretch.
Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, it's good food for thought. I like it. That's spicy. I like
If I find the
it.
video, I'll link it to you, and I'll put it in the
Cool.
link for the show notes for the podcast for anybody that wants to maybe watch it as well. That he has so many different random, and he's not like just some guy. It's like a legit, like millions of viewers and whatnot. So I think it's what he does. He just comes up with theories. But I'll find it and I'll send it your way. Yeah. He has some really cool ones.
I think if we're going to get any more on that, it will be in Loki, right? Because that has more to do with time.
That's the whole thing for Loki, right? He works for the Time Variance Authority, and he messed up time, so they've got to fix it. And so I think Kang is popping up sooner. I don't think we're gonna have to wait a couple years for Ant-Man to see a little bit of Kang.
Yeah, I think Loki's definitely going to have the most MCU breadcrumbs for moving forward with the films and stuff.
Right. Little by little, they're starting to pop up with the multiverse and time things and whatnot. I mean, we know we're going to get Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. WandaVision plays right into that. A lot of people are talking about how Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to really set up the table for some of the MCU shows and movies coming up in the near future. And obviously Spider-Man, there's talk of that having a lot of multiverse action as well.
Right. Yeah.
We're getting there, I think, slowly but surely.
Yeah. So to bring it all backward, we have no idea who the power broker is. We got way off track. So okay, yeah. So let's just switching gears completely. I'm gonna read a line to you that was from Zemo, okay. And I had watching it the first time, whatever. Watching it the second time, I think that this line is going to have some foreshadowing to it. I'm gonna read it to you. All right. The desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from supremacist ideals. Anyone with the serum is inherently on that path. She will not stop, she being Carly. She will not stop. She will escalate until you kill her or she kills you. I think that's foreshadowing. I don't think it's about Carly.
Do you think
I think it's
try to kill?
No. I think it's about John. I think it's about John Walker. He's a super soldier, and I don't think he's gonna stop until either she's dead or he is.
Yeah, I liked that line a lot too, and I think that I had even talked about. I don't remember if it was the parallels or, I honestly can't remember. But I do think there was something to that line. That wasn't just a throwaway or time filler.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do like your theory that he's, while he thinks he's talking about Carly, he's ultimately talking about John.
Yeah. And now either John and Carly or John and Sam. What do you think? I think John and Carly. I think it's more about them, less about Sam.
You mean Bucky?
No. He says the line to Sam.
Right.
Zemo says that line to Sam. I think that watching it the second time, knowing that John Walker is a super soldier, I don't think he's going to stop until Carly's dead.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were lumping Bucky as a super soldier with Carly and what you're saying.
No,
the one to kill.
Bucky is such an outlier with super soldiers. You know what I mean? Because he's been his worst of worsts, and he's come back from it. And now he doesn't with no Hydra programming in his head. He's a completely new man. I think he's got a clean slate, and he's just trying to find his way. He wants, and I know I keep coming back to this, but he just wants peace. He wants to quit fighting. He wants nothing to do with any of this, and he just keeps getting tangled up in it.
Yeah. Well, in Zemo, he says the line, and then Sam responds to him something along the effect of Bucky too, or does that mean we have to include Bucky in that?
Right.
He doesn't really answer it. He takes a second to consider it, and then I think other things happen. So you almost do kind of get the sense that Zemo doesn't really hold it against Bucky. I feel like Zemo sort of understands Bucky didn't choose that. Like, he was taken, he was captured. They made him the super soldier. They made him what he is. Similar to Rogers, where they say, "Well, look at Steve," and he goes, "Touche." But there's not exactly Rogers. So he even acknowledges that Steve himself isn't sort of evil, or in his eyes, right? Where he looks at these individuals, he doesn't know Walker's taking it by now, but these people that have elected to be super soldiers, he looks at them as genuine evil beings.
Right. Yeah, because they crave power, inhuman power.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. I wrote that. I didn't write that exact line down, but I Zemo calling them, or calling those that want the serum supremacists. Yeah, because that perfectly ties in with Walker. Whereas he wanted it because he felt inadequate. He felt, even though he's this decorated veteran, he has all these peak, human abilities, and he's this celebrated. Everyone loves him. He's the chosen Captain America. He still wants more than that, right? It's a greed. It's a hunger for power, and really status. He wants to not only be Captain America, he wants to surpass Steve. He wants to be this icon. And so that sort of falls right in line there, right? Where it's, these people, they want the serum, but it's not just because of the things you can do. It's the fear that you can put into other people.
Yeah.
Because even Sam, I like the part where he asked Sam, "Do you want the serum?" No, and he's like, "You didn't even hesitate. I'm impressed." And so it was like he got respect for Sam, right? Like, you don't really get the feeling that Zemo is evil.
Yeah, he's just against super soldiers.
Yeah, he definitely, they definitely don't. They don't set him up to where you're like, I love Zemo now, because
No. He's definitely still a bad guy.
Exactly.
I mean, he's creepy as hell. He bribes kids with candy. Like, that's not okay. He literally says our little secret to a kid. That's not cool.
I'm glad
he's not a good guy.
He's singing that song, the Ba Ba Black Sheep. When he says Ba Ba, I thought he was about to break out into Lady Gaga. Ba, 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 ba. I was like, what is this? I thought for sure that was where he was.
Oh man. You get another Zemo dance. We didn't even talk about the Zemo cut yet.
Yeah,
all this John Walker business getting in the way.
Yeah, that was a creepy scene. That made me uncomfortable.
It was weird. Yeah, he's not a good guy.
Handful of candy, and they've got the music really low and silent. And he's talking like, get these kids out of here. Why are these kids?
Yeah,
get them out of here. And he's like, you see those two guys? They're bad men. Those are the heroes. No.
Yeah.
Creepy guy.
Oh man.
What else?
Zemo. Yeah, I'm running out of notes.
Mine are kind of. I thought it was really cool to get Sam back in the Falcon suit. He really hasn't been.
Yeah.
Since what, episode 2?
Since the second episode.
Yeah. So that was.
I guess that's only episode 3 is the only one without, but still, it seems like more time.
Yeah, it felt like a long. But
has passed.
I don't think that episode 2, it was the first act of episode 2.
Right. That's true.
Right. So it was like you had the rest of that, and then you had episode 3, and then most of episode 4, where he was still just kind of a guy in clothes.
Well, as soon as they found out that John was tracking them using the Falcon suit, he quit wearing it.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and then they found him without it. So.
Yeah.
I
wonder how that will impact. Now that John is sort of, again, I mean, we touched on it. What does this mean for him moving forward? I don't think I could see the government sort of rationalizing why he did what he did.
I do too. The more and more I think about it, I think that's what's going to happen is that the government's going to rationalize it and make it so that they're going to paint him to be the hero that, him and his inflated ego thinks that he is, and it's going to further the tension, between him and Carly, and even between, ultimately between Sam, Bucky, and maybe even the United States government.
How do they get the shield back? That's still my
take it by force. Fight. I want to see it so bad.
When that one soldier kicks it up, and I was like, oh, they're just gonna take it for themselves.
It's vibranium. It's theirs more than his.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right, maybe that's how they did it. But no, they threw it back. But I thought for sure, I was like, oh no, they're just walk up out of here with Captain America's shield.
Anytime that shield changes hands is always so exciting.
That's still a piece of story that I'm looking forward to, and I hope it's just like this really cool moment. I hope it's not just like, oh look, the shield. It's just, you know, like they're in a battle and he like leaves it behind. Like, we'll just take it. You know, I hope it's a legit.
I keep thinking that Bucky is going to get the shield ultimately. I know that I said it earlier in the podcast, but I think episode 1 I said it. But if you think about it, okay, Bucky is here to help Sam, sort of. I mean, really, ultimately, his function is to remind him every single episode that he shouldn't have given the shield up, and he keeps doing it, and he keeps doing it, and Sam's like, I know,
right.
But I you know, even there was that line, I think in the previous episode that, you know, before we destroy that shield, I want it to see what I can do with it. And he's already a super soldier, and he didn't want the super soldier serum. It was given to him, you know, without, you know, he didn't choose that. He was a good man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that Bucky would make a good Captain America.
I don't disagree with that. I think you're going to be disappointed.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to, it's Marvel. I'm probably not going to be disappointed with what we get.
I think the only thing that would disappoint me is if like Sharon ended up with the shield. I'd be like, all right, this is a little weird.
That'd be a little out there.
The Hulk is like, all right, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, can we get Odin in here to bless this shield and make it so that you have to be worthy of it or something? Because there are too many people carrying this shield.
Then again, it would just only could use.
Yeah. They lean it up against. Oh well, I guess. Yeah, they have a gravestone for Steve, right? That exists. I know he's not dead, but he's dead to the world, right?
I don't think they ever showed one.
I don't think they did, but I would imagine there'd have to be some sort of monument to a hero that you know, the hero of Endgame, or one of the heroes of Endgame.
I was just kind of thinking about that too, because yeah, what is the explanation for them not having? You know what I mean? Because when you watch Spider-Man: Far From Home, the very beginning of the movie, when they're showing the montage of Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Widow, Steve's in there too, so it's like implied that he's dead, even though we all know he's not. But it's implied that he is. So maybe they just said, "Oh, he died in the battle."
Yeah,
so,
I think that would be the easy answer for the public.
Outside of, well, he decided to stick it out in 1943. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like, no, let's not tell the public eye that time travel exists.
That's the thing. Like, I wonder how they explain that to everybody. Like, you know, you guys are back now.
I don't know. I feel like there's so much, you know, half of the world coming back after the blip would overshadow, you know, time travel.
I guess they also don't know that the stones were destroyed by Thanos on that planet.
Right. I mean, how would they? That's so not on, you know, not in humanity's radar.
Right. Yeah. And nobody knows that. And yeah, I think most people probably don't even know that Thanos happened and he snapped.
Exactly. I mean, let's think of the real world comparison. In 2020, there was news coverage of UFO sightings that were unexplained, and then COVID happened and everybody stopped talking about it. Like, no, hang on, there are UFOs. Yeah. We need to know more about this, and just no one's talking about it.
There was that thing with the killer bees too, as well, that came out like a month or two after.
Yeah, it's whatever's in the news is what people are going to talk about. So I think that's true for the MCU world as well.
True. Yeah. Who knows what's? Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's all the notes that I had.
That's all I got, man. It's been a great episode. Well, so everybody, I wanted to tell everybody that you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter now. We have our Instagram is up. You can follow us at StreamCatchersPod, or on Twitter at *stream_catchers.
Woo! Where
we're going to be posting our episodes of the podcast and maybe sharing some little tidbits. Who knows? It's a work in progress.
We're leveling up our game here, so yeah, give us some.
Yeah.
You know, next week we'll be recapping season 5. We'll recap episode 5, where it seems like we're going to get more explanation on John Walker. Maybe we will get a power broker reveal. We'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed for the power broker reveal.
Hopefully some Zemo action. Hopefully Carly as well. So episode 5 should be hopefully as good, if not better, than episode 4. And we'll be here to talk about it and put you on the knowledge.
Hells yeah. Catch you later.
You folks.